Hi guys, this is Angela. Welcome back to my channel. Um, I've been doing a lot of video YouTube watching today on other tarot users, and I came across um, Simon at Hermit'S Cave um, video about um, the tarot tubers A to Z. And so I thought that looked like fun, so I thought I would go ahead and do a video on that myself. So bear with me. I think I have everything here I need. Um, so basically, you go through the alphabet A to Z, and he's got a prompt for each, or a question for each letter of the alphabet. So let's get right into that. A is age. I'm 43. B, book. Favorite book. What is your favorite book? My favorite non-tarot book, I don't know where it's at. I have thousands of books that are paranormal romance, mystery, murder mystery, history. I'm a bookworm. I've been a bookworm my whole life. I used to steal my mother's books when I was like 10 and 12, like romance novels. But I thought I would just go ahead because there's just too many to narrow down. And share with you this latest one I got. And it's funny because um, I decided to go to the library and see if they had any books on psychic development or tarot books or anything like that. And I found this Psychic Development Beyond Beginners by Melanie Barnum. Um, and I read it in like 2 days. It's pretty thick. But it was very interesting. There's a lot of exercises in there to do. But what wound up happening is she kept talking about psychic symbols, and I've always had crazy dreams, and I'm always trying to break down those dreams through the symbols I'm getting. I've always been interested in symbols, and here the last couple weeks, it's just really been driving home this need to start like a symbol journal or dive deep into symbols and symbology of things. And it's funny because her name sounded familiar, and I'm like, why does that sound so familiar? And then she started talking about another book she wrote in this book, and I'm like, wait a minute. So I look up the one I've had on my wish list on Amazon for months, and sure enough, it's the same author. So I went and bought both books because I'm like, clearly I was meant to have both books. So now the other one I have to take back to the library, but this is my copy that I bought. So far, they're really both wonderful reads. There's a lot of exercises in there. It's just amazing. So that is my B for book. C, career. What you wanted to do as a kid, and what do you do now? Well, I can tell you, as long as I've been alive, I wanted nothing more than to be a writer. I can tell you, I was 5 years old, maybe 6. It's almost like it was yesterday, the moment I realized I wanted to be a writer. I've literally wanted to be a writer ever since I could write my name and it be legible. It's just this calling that I've had deep down inside that I've wanted to be a writer. However, life takes turns and ups and downs, and there was a point in there I wanted to be an archaeologist. I come from a very tiny town in Arkansas, and they had discovered, like, my junior year in high school, like a Indian reservation underground, and they did a whole archaeological excavation of it. It was really cool. I got to go see the work in progress. It was really neat, and that kind of spurred on my Indiana Jones, kind of wanting to go to like ancient Egypt and discover something new. It was amazing. Um, and I've always believed that um, the answers that we seek now are buried in the past. So I've always had a strong affinity for archaeology too. Although life again happens, ups and downs, and so neither of those happen. Um, the the Right now, I don't have a career. I have a job. I make I ship contacts for a living. Hard contacts um, that you put in your eyes. That's what I do all day long is ship contacts, and I actually love it because I'm alone most of the time. I have time to think and contemplate life and whatever. I really like it. Although I will say that I did start pursuing writing career 5 years ago. I have a blog, which I can put that link below for you guys. I've been doing it for almost 5 years now, and I actually have a couple books that I self-published on Amazon. So it was funny because all these synchronicities were starting to happen geared toward me writing, and it was like the universe was saying, it's time, it's now or never. And so once I was open to that concept, all these synchronicities started happening. It was like all of a sudden I found a bookstore that I loved and did open mic poetry at. I found they actually let me do a book reading there. Like I was suddenly able to self-publish for free on Amazon, and I'm like, I could just publish a book if I want to. I can just do a book reading if I want to. What is happening? And so it's been a very weird journey. But yeah, I can honestly say that the dream I've had since I was 5 is coming true, just slowly. It's hard to get yourself out there when nobody knows who you are. But I am working on it. We'll see where I am 5 years from now. Hopefully, more people will know who I am. But if you decide that you want to check out either one of my books, one is a paranormal romance, one is a memoir of the trials I went through in giving my daughter up for adoption almost 25 years ago. So that's career. D is dream. What is your dream? I can honestly tell you I'm living it. I may not be rich, I may not be famous, but I am doing the thing that I've always wanted to do, and that is write, tell my story. I'm no longer shackled by my fears of will people respond to me. I'm no longer shackled to the demons of the past that was like, you can't do this, you're not good enough. I'm no longer bound by those things that tied me down before. So, yeah, and like I said before, it's been a crazy journey the last 4 or 5 years on this whole writing thing, and that's what I mainly concentrate on. Is that, and that is the only dream I've ever had. So the fact that I'm making it happen by myself from the ground up is an amazing feeling. That where I am right now, I was told I would never be. So, in your face, everybody that told me it was never going to happen. And that's on that. Hold on, I got a thing on my... Okay, so E. Essential item that you cannot live without. And I will say I toiled over this question because I wanted it to be something profound and amazing. The fact is, and I hate saying this because I've gotten on to people for using their phones at dinner table or Thanksgiving dinner. It irks me to no end, but my phone is something I can't live without because not only do I have my YouTube channel on there now, I also have my blog on there. I have a few other apps that I have for um, doing the writing and doing what I need to do to get it out there. So, and I also have Facebook and then Instagram and all that on there also. But right now it's more like, hey, I've got something in my mind I want to write down, and I have an app for that. So that's why, because I have everything I need in one spot for my writing. So that was E. F, favorite RWS deck. Actually have it right here. I made a little, crocheted a little baggie for it because it's the mini, but it came in a box instead of the 10, where the place I ordered it off of. But it is the Smith-Waite Terrell Centennial Edition. And, yeah. It's smaller. I love that it's got a little white book with it. This is the backs. Everybody knows this. Everybody's seen this deck a million times online. But yeah, look how it's so tiny. I love it. I love that it's tiny. And yeah, I'm not gonna go into too deep a detail because everybody knows what this deck looks like. But I actually like the muted colors on there. It looks very aged and antique, and that's what I love about it. So that is my favorite RWS deck. Moving right along. G, gold or silver jewelry. I'm not wearing any right now. I have a gold band on, wedding band, engagement ring on. I'm gonna say either or. I can wear either or. I have a bunch of either or. It just depends on what the jewelry is. I have a lot of like Santa Muerte stuff that's gold, and then I have a lot of like skull bracelet that's silver, and like some Native American earrings that are silver. So it just depends on the type of jewelry it is. For me, it really doesn't matter. Height. I am 5'4.5". 10 years ago I was 5'8", so I don't know what's happening there, but I'm shrinking, apparently. Apparently that happens when you get older. Ideal day for I. My ideal day, because I have, my youngest is 13, my next oldest is 20. I haven't slept in over 20 years. My husband is a morning person. He gets up and goes to work at 5:30 every morning for the last 20-something years that we've been together. My ideal day is to leave me alone, let me sleep in, and then just have a me day. Like, I don't ever have me days. Just drive somewhere, have a nice lunch somewhere, go maybe antiquing somewhere. I live in Kansas City, so there's no coast, but I would love to be near a beach somewhere. Maybe walk along the beach, pick up some seashells, put my feet in the water, and then watch the sun go down over the ocean. That would be a perfect day for me. J, joke. I don't have any. I did find one. I had to actually Google this because the only jokes I know are dirty. And I really didn't want to put a dirty joke on here because they're really bad. So I had to Google like a kid joke or something. So let me see if I can find it where I had it. Still looking. Oh, this is the one I found was the cutest. What's worse than finding a worm in your apple? Finding half a worm. And I just thought that was funny because if you're finding half a worm, it means you took a bite and half of it's in your mouth, which, ugh. So Kay, kids, how many? So I have 2 sons with my husband, and then I have a daughter that is almost 24, that I gave up for adoption when I was 19. Um, and that's what my book is about. Memoirs of a Birth Mother on Amazon right now. And so I have 3 babies, and then if you count my 2 dogs, I have 5. So because they're both very needy, they're like children. Living arrangements. So my husband and I are buying a house. We live together. My 2 sons still live with me, and then we got the 2 dogs. So that is the living arrangements. It feels crowded sometimes. Marseille deck. I don't have one. I'm pretty new to tarot. I started my tarot journey like April of last year, so I haven't really delved into other decks other than tarot. I do have a Thoth deck, but I don't know that that's really Marseille. So I don't know really anything about Marseille decks, so I'm just gonna say I don't have any. Nickname. N for nickname. So, where was I? N for nickname. So, as I said before, I'm 43. I'll be 44 in September of this year. And, I've been called many things over the years, but the one thing that I still have aunts and uncles calling me, even though I'm 43 and have grown children of my own, is Angie Poo. Don't know why. Apparently they called me that when I was a baby. I was a preemie. I shouldn't have survived. I was in the paper as a miracle baby. I was born almost 3 months early in the 70s, which apparently didn't happen very often. With survival rate wasn't that great. I spent several weeks in the hospital. And so I was everybody's little Angie Poo because I weighed 2.5 pounds when I was born, and I was so tiny, and they just, as soon as I came home, everyone was calling me that, and to this day I still get called that, which is annoying. So that was, and for nickname, Oracle deck. What is your favorite Oracle deck? And I have to say, I have quite a few Oracle decks. I do seem to connect with more of them than I do tarot. I do have like 5 tarot decks now. I think I also have 5 Oracle decks, but my Oracle decks, it was very hard to choose because I feel like I love them all equally. So I'm going to go with the one that has made me cry multiple times. And that's Alana Fairchild's Sacred Rebels Oracle deck. I am madly in love with this deck. And I have a previous video where I did I don't know that I did a full walkthrough, but I talked about this deck. So if you went through my playlist, you would see that. It has a great guidebook with it. These are the backs. And this deck is just, this card here is, and I say that in my previous video, this is why, this card right here. I was doing a video, or I was watching a video with Bahati Life on YouTube, and she was doing a reading, and I picked this deck, or this card on top without reading it, and I was actually in a place where I'm like, I should just give up this whole writing thing. It's not going anywhere. And then this was the card on top of the pile that she chose. And it says on the bottom, the word wants to be written. And I lost my mind. I was like, are you kidding me? And then I knew I had to have this deck too. So, if nothing else, for that card. But I can tell you right now, there are so so many cards in this deck that I'm just like I love every card in here. It's just, there are so many messages. It's just, it's deep. Like, there's no way to explain it. It's just, every card you pick is like, there's a deep, meaningful message to it. And what I love, because I am fairly new to all of this, is that it has an exercise after each card, to basically learn to let things go, to let the past rest and move on from it. And that is exactly the type of deck I needed at the time, because I have a very hard time of letting go of things. And I don't get emotional. I learned a very long time ago, emotions are for chumps. And so I'm learning to reopen my heart to things, and this deck has done that for me. It's opened up a side of me I thought was dead. So I love this deck because of that. So that was O. P, passionate about. I'm passionate about my kids. I'm passionate about my writing. I'm passionate about being a good person. There's the list goes on and on. I'm passionate about so many things. Yeah, that's my top 3, I would say. Quote. What is your favorite quote for Q? And I've thought about this because once I delved into the writing world, and because up till that point I'd only ever read things like paranormal romance or regular romance novels. But when I dove deep into this whole writing thing and decided I'm going to go for it, I started all these other like famous poets and writers that started coming into my life and my world, and I was reading and reading and reading all of their stuff, and it was just like crazy. And one of my favorites is, let me pull him up, is Charles Bukowski. Now he's rough. He's one of those writers that speaks his mind. He don't give a damn what anybody else thinks. And one of his, it was actually part of a poem, but it's been turned into like a quote over like everybody says that one line, and it's find what you love and let it kill you. And that may sound horrifying. Why would you let something kill you? But it's to me, it's find what you love and hold on to it. Dive deep into it. Get in there and just do it. Do the work. Do what makes you happy, because that's all we have in this world. And so that is my favorite quote by Charles Bukowski because of that. So that was quote. Our relationship status. I'm married. Been married quite a while now. We will be celebrating 19 years in June. But we've been together like 23 years. So 19, 20, it doesn't matter anymore. Seasons. What is your favorite season? And I go back and forth, but I have to say autumn or fall is my favorite. Simply because I live in the Midwest, and the sheer amount of trees that are all different colors, golds, orange, yellows, not purple, but just the magnitude of colors in the fall is breathtaking. And being able to sit around a fire and toast marshmallows or tell ghost stories, or just sit there cuddled up with friends and family around the fire bonding. There's no feeling like it. Just the smell of fire getting on your clothes, and then you go inside and you're like, I still smell like this fire. It warms every part of me. Now I do love spring also. It comes in a close second, just because everything is so green and new and fresh, and it's beginning again and starting anew. And I love that even more so now that I've been on this spiritual journey. I love that idea much more, appreciate it more now than I did before. And I love everything. My favorite color is green. Everything is green. And it's just, you feel the newness of everything, and you like, oh, I could start again. So yeah, that's my runner up. But fall, there's something about it. I don't know what it is. It's just the crisp feel of the air. It's just, I'm ready for spring because we've had a rough winter, but I can't wait for fall either. So T, tarot. What is your first deck and last? And my very first deck, is my very first deck before I even knew what Rider-Waite-Smith was. I was actually drawn to by the Radiant Rider-Waite, and this is the book. It's thick, really thick, and I actually like the book more than I like the deck. But this is the book it came with, and then the deck, came in a tuck box, so it turned to crap shortly after I bought it. But I made me a little box for it. And this is the backs, and I'm sure you guys have all seen this deck as well many times, and I just thought I would love these colors because they're so bright and vibrant, and part of the reason why I'm not as far into, I think, my tarot practice as I should be is because I bought this deck in April of last year. And it just, I was like, what? Why did I even buy this? Because I did not resonate with it. I couldn't connect with it. I still don't. And I even edged it in yellow to try to make it like a light yellow, like the stars, to try and connect somehow with this deck. Never took. Then I quickly realized every RWS deck I've seen, I did not connect with. The only one, which I've already showed you, that I've actually semi-connect with is the Centennial, and that's just because of the toned down colors on it. I actually do use the book quite often for things, but that was my very first deck ever, which sent me on this huge long journey of buying Oracle decks, and then finally finding a tarot deck I resonated with, which is also another video I have down there. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, there's another video I have on there about my tarot journey. I think it's the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Swords. But that was my very first deck. And then I'm kind of cheating here because the next deck I bought, I didn't get in the mail for a very long time. And then the last deck I bought it. I paid for it and bought it and then waited for it for like 3 months in the mail. Meanwhile, I had bought this one, the Tarot of the Secret Forest. And like I went to the store and bought this, and it comes with a little white book. And I've seen this many times. People know what this deck is all about. It's edged in black. And I've showed this a few times, I think, already. It's a low scale barrel deck. I love the imagery, but what I found interesting about this deck was that on the backs, It's the same picture, just in black and white. So you can actually do maybe light work and then shadow work with it. I worked with it a little bit when I first got it. I've been trying to do a, like I've got a few decks now, so I'm trying to like every week work with a different deck. So this one I bought after I had paid for the other one, but the other one came after that deck, and that was the Teramuha, which didn't realize was also a low Scarabero deck. I edged it in like a peach color. It's really pretty. It matches the backs. And I don't know what it is about low Scarabero artwork. I just love it. Love both decks. And there's like 3 more that I found, and I'm like, ooh, I like the artwork on that, and they're also low Scarabero decks. So apparently I'm a fan. So this was the last deck I received, but this was the last one I bought and paid for. So that was that. That was first and last tarot deck in the T. So you is upset. What upsets you the most? Now, I've watched a couple videos on this very subject. And I have to say what upsets me the most is liars. People that pretend to be something they're not. People that pretend to be your friend or a confidant, and then you find out much later that they are completely not who you thought they were. I'm upfront and honest. I have been told, maybe it's the Virgo in me, that I'm brutally honest at times. But if you don't want the truth, don't ask me for the truth, because I'm going to give it to you, whether you like the truth or not. And being raised the way I was raised in an abusive home, and having to lie to cover up the massive amounts of abuse that was going on, I detest liars now. And so that is the thing that makes me angry the most, in that and child abuse. I've seen relatives smack their kid around, and I'm just like, hold me back, because I'm going to show them what it's like to get your ass beat, because no kid should have to be beaten or smacked around or made to feel like they're worthless in this world. And so I think both of those kind of go together for me. So that is the things that make me angry. It turns me into the Hulk. Vlog. Which vlog are you most proud of, and which one has the most views? And I've got that up right here because I didn't bother looking at that one. I forgot to pull it up. So my favorite, the most views I've gotten is on my Christmas video I did. It talks about, there was a lot of channeling and automatic writing, and it was like the first time I'd really done a lot of automatic writing and channeling of spirit or whatever, universe, whatever you want to call it. And there was a lot of good stuff in there. I was very impressed with that, and I was shocked that it had the most views. Well, actually the second most views. The one I did, the very second video I did on my spiritual awakening, was the most views, and that's so far 26, because I'm pretty new to YouTube also. And I think the best video I did has been about the young Indian girl. It was during different meditations. I would see this young Indian girl at different ages, and with the last meditation and the book I found and all the synchronicities that were coming in leading up to that, it was my aha moment that what I'm doing on the spiritual path isn't meaningless. There is something to this. And that kind of gave me my final wake up call of, you are on the path now, just stay on it. So yeah, I've got 3 different videos of the Young Indian Girl. If you want to check that out, it's on my playlist as well. Weakness, or W, what is my weakness? My weakness is, I was going to say something profound, like very impatient. I get stressed out really easy when things don't go my way, and that's me being a Virgo. But I'm going to say chocolate. I like salty things. I could sit and eat a bag of chips, no problem. It's crazy. But then when I decide I need some chocolate, I go and buy a ton of it, and I eat it all in one sitting. So I'm working on that. I'm working on my health and working on eating healthier and trying to figure out how to curb that sweet tooth, because when I need chocolate, it's like a monster comes out of me, and I'm just like, I need the chocolate now. So that is that video, or that. So X rated, something you have done naughty. And there's a lot of things that I have done naughty that I don't think are appropriate for this video. I can't think of one that's like innocent. I can't. I can't think of anything. I can't. The only thing I can think of that is semi X-rated, but isn't like crazy, is we had a pool in our backyard of my old house, and my husband and I decided to get romantic in the pool. It was late at night, the kids were in bed, and we started kind of making out in the pool. We kind of started taking our clothes off, and then the neighbor pulled in, and his driveway went the length of my backyard. So that kind of put a kibosh on everything. But yeah, that's probably my least X-rated story. Why? Yesteryear. What is your favorite year and why? And I will probably have to tell you, it's the year I married my husband, 2001, because there was a lot of what am I trying to say? There was a lot of turmoil about me getting married within myself, because as I've stated in a previous video, I've had 7 step parents. I'm a one and done kind of person. Because of that, I take the sanctity of marriage very seriously. I was just like, I don't know if I can do this without a sign or proof that he's the one. Well, I wound up getting my sign. And it was like a big neon sign that was like, we've been telling you this for a couple of years now, and you're not listening. So that kind of opened my mind back up to dreams and what they meant. Starting to take notice more of the dreams I had been having in the past, and going forward, the dreams I would be having. because dreams are, when you're not willing to listen in your waking hours, dreams are how they're getting to you. Trust me, I know. I've had, that's all I do is dream. Um, so that would probably be that. Plus, I did get married. It was the right decision. We've been together over 20 years. We've been married, we'll be 19 this June. We have two wonderful boys together. My husband, I feel like we are the yin and yang of each other. Like, he's the manly man kind of guy, but he also has a soft side that you rarely get to see. But when you get to see it, it's for those that he loves deeply. And I feel like that I am special enough to be one of those people. I feel like I calm him down, and he makes me take control of myself more, able to have more confidence in myself. So yeah, we kind of balance each other out that way. So yeah, that would probably be my favorite year. And then we do Z. Z is for Zen. I do many things because my brain never shuts off. It's always thinking, it's always learning, it's always the machine, the gears are always going. So when I find something that will calm that down, I generally stick with it. But there's so many things that calm that down. Reading, it's probably why I did it from the time I could read on up. I've done nothing but read. Writing calms me down, makes the brain just kind of slow down and think about what I'm writing, and gets me in this Zen spot where I'm just like, yes, I'm there for maybe 5 minutes or longer. There have been times I've written for hours and it felt like 30 minutes. So writing is a big thing, a big part of it. Taking walks in nature, I am very much an earth sign. I am immersed in Mother Nature. I love taking walks, going to the woods, just being in nature, being around the trees, being near maybe a babbling brook. It's just, that is my spot. If I could live out there, I would. That, yeah, those are my things that, there was more that was in my head a couple minutes ago. Now they're gone. Oh, meditation. I'm still learning the ins and outs of meditation. I've had some profound meditation moments, but then I get in for like a few weeks where I just won't do it at all, and then I'll go back, and each time it's kind of harder to do. So I'm still learning to get to the point where I meditate every day for like 20 minutes at least. And I've noticed once I start meditating more, the dreams kind of slow down or even stop at times. So yeah, that was Z. And I hope you guys liked this video. I will post the link to Hermit's Cave down below. And if you like the video, please thumbs up. If you want to see more videos, please subscribe. And you guys have a great night. Thanks.